Academy is now
Cinema Chip and Movie Man. 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 Cinema Chip and Movie Man.
Hi everyone, welcome to the show. Let's just begin as we normally do. Just check in with each other. How are you today, Greg?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm okay, yeah. I wouldn't say good. I'm not bad. I don't feel ill. I've got no pains anywhere or anything. My crippling depression isn't too crippling at the moment, so... No, I'm joking. I've got crippling depression.
You're just waking up and going through life and going to sleep, I take it.
Yeah, but I'm keeping myself busy. I kept myself busy today by doing some painting and decorating.
Oh, sounds interesting.
Yeah, I was hoping to get paid for it, but I don't think I'm going to get paid for it. It's just boring.
Hey, anyway, let's start with...
I'll check in with you, Stephen, because I'm pretty much the same. I'm as long as I've got movies to watch, computer games to play, music to listen to, I'm okay, you know?
Well, with me... I've been thinking a lot this week because I've been talking to Mangita a lot, and I'll talk a little bit about her later.
I mean, yeah, a woman in my life could be, beneficial as well, I guess, for the odd bit of sex. But other than that, I'm a pretty good cook, you know. If a woman could do a steak or cook the roast potatoes as well as I can, then, brilliant. Well, actually, no, to be fair, it would be nice to have a woman to do that for me rather than, even if she did it worse than me, it'd be nice to... do that.
You sound pretty lonely. But I'm not lonely. So I told Mangita to watch this episode. Because things with me and her are hotting up. I've written her a song. So I just hope you don't mind, Greg. I just want to sing this song because Mangita will be watching. Okay, here we go. I met a girl online. Her name is Mangita. She lives in Brazil. She looks after her mother. She's got a heart of gold and a smile so sweet. She makes me feel alive when we chat and tweet. Mangita, you're my dream come true. Mangita, I wanna be with you. Mangita, the only one for me. Mangita, please say you love me.
What? Nothing. I can't help myself. Whenever I hear a chance to rhyme something with wee or poo, I take it.
Sorry about that if you're watching, Mangita. He's a bit lonely. It's not his fault.
I'm sorry you smell of wee, Mangita.
Greg! She doesn't smell of wee.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll talk a bit more about her later. Yeah. People tuned in for what we're here for.
Okay, I've got a song. Can I do my song about... I made up a little song about Mangita
as long as
as well.
Rude.
Mangita. No, it's not. No, it's not rude. It's not rude. Okay, here it goes. Mangita, you'll never meet her, 'cause she doesn't exist. Yes, it's true. Mangita, Stephen will never meet her, 'cause she's make-believe.
She's not make-believe. I've seen her picture, and I speak to her all the time. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. Let's get into our first review of the week. And this week's first...
It's not... No. We're not... No, let's get into it. You're not going to do a review for starters, Stephen. Stephen, you're going to do a fucking recommendation at best. I don't know if what you do could be called a recommendation. So let's not get ahead of ourselves with the review. We don't... If you've tuned into this thinking like, I can't wait to see the next... Because you might have read the description and thought like, they're doing a review of whatever. And it's not a review. We do recommendations. We'll give you strong recommendations, things that we've watched and we think you should watch. Because we watch a lot of stuff. That's all we do, isn't it, Stephen? But we think it's a bit boring just going like, this is why this is good. And if you look into the reasons why and blah, 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 then it's kind of boring. I mean, it's not boring. I find it fucking fascinating. And there's loads of other channels out there already doing that.
And also, you have to put the time in.
Yeah. And that is boring.
And time is something I haven't got.
Yeah, me too. And it's more fun just dicking around, isn't it, Stephen? So
yeah.
So we like to just do movie recommendations and then do other things and then have a chat and then talk about, the important things in life. Like, Stephen, ask me a question that's important on your list of stuff.
Let's talk about our first movie review. And that is...
It's not a review. It's a recommendation. Recommendation. There you go.
Right, okay. This one's called Living with Bill Nye.
Oh, yeah.
The director is Oliver Hermanus, and the writer Writer is Kazui Ishiguro.
Okay, but no, so Kazui, what's his name? Ishiguro.
Kazui
Ishiguro. He wrote the book. He wrote the book it's based on. Did he write the screenplay as well? Did he write this film as well?
I think he wrote the screenplay. Yeah.
Okay. Oh right. So he didn't write the book. It's based on a book, right?
No, it's based on another film.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a remake of a Kurosawa classic.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure what the Kurosawa classic is,
right.
but the film sets a high bar for itself.
So if we're doing a review, we'd know that.
Yeah, but you could just put it up afterwards.
That's true. And the beauty of this show is that I can put stuff up like that afterwards. We don't need to do the... So one way or another, we do the research. We do put the work in. So I guess it is kind of a review.
Yeah, so if you want to know, living is the story of an ordinary man reduced by years of oppressive office routine to a shadow existence, who, at the 11th hour, makes a supreme effort to turn his dull life into something wonderful. Greg.
Like Scrooge, but he's not Scrooge. He's not mean. He's not miserly, but he's kind of pointless, isn't it? His job is... Well, he's a town planner, isn't he?
Yeah, they work for the government. They're like planners in the 1950s.
Yeah, that's right.
Mr. Williams, a little on the frosty side, perhaps.
Not too much fun and laughter. Rather like church.
How did it happen? Small wonder I didn't notice what I was becoming.
Dad, you all right?
If only to be alive for one day. But I realize it. I don't know how. And I so wish to do so.
So what did you think of Living with Bill Nighy?
A little bit boring.
It was a boring film for you,
Yeah,
was
a
it?
little bit boring. I quite like the ending. Because I was like, oh, it's ended. Thank God that boring films ended. What a great ending. It ended. The ending was nice. I got into it a little bit more as it went on. Once I realised what was going on, what the coup was, it just took a little while to get going. And then it's like, I see what he's doing now. He's doing he did a sort of like what Bill Murray's character does in Groundhog Day. But like right at the end, he's like, I'm going to do everything right, instead of like being a nasty guy and robbing people and taking advantage of women. He goes around doing all nice stuff and altruistic things. And and I think Bill Nighy wasn't a bad guy to begin with, but I think he finds out he's going to die, and instead of going like, oh, I'm going to die, fuck everyone, fuck everything, I'm just going to sit inside watching telly until I die, which is what I'd probably do.
Well, you do that now.
Yeah, exactly.
You are sort of watching telly till you die.
Yeah, that's how I live. I live like most people would die.
You live like Bill Nighy doesn't live. But you live like Bill Nighy lives before he finds out he's going to die.
Yeah.
Then you live like he lives after he finds out he's going to die.
Yeah.
So basically, you live like someone who's only got 6 months to live, constantly.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, led by Bill Nighy's perfect performance, Living's a movie that will leave you reflecting on things that you appreciate in your own life. That's what I thought. Do you want to know what the scores are of this film?
Oh,
let's see if you match them.
So I mean, Bill Nighy was good in it, and I said it's definitely worth a watch, but it's not like, whoa! I wouldn't say it's a family. If you get together at Christmas, it's not a Christmas movie.
It's a Sunday afternoon movie.
Yeah. So what am I guessing?
What score IMDb gives it and Rotten Tomatoes gives it?
I think it gives it. I reckon Rotten Tomatoes, it's in the 90s%.
Correct.
And on IMDb, I reckon it's in the 8s.
Close. You're good at this.
7 point something.
Yep, 7.3 on IMDb and 96 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Nice.
That's the critics, and the audience is 98. So it's quite a highly recommended movie.
I give it 3 bananas. It's very well made and good performances, but it's not particularly engaging. I don't think, not all the way through. It's not enthralling. Well, it's not meant to be enthralling, I guess. It's just a nice, as you said, it's a nice, pleasant afternoon watch, isn't it? How many bananas do you give it?
I give it, out of how many is
it's
the
5,
banana
isn't it?
rate? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I give it 4 bananas.
You can give point bananas, so you can do like IMDb, so you can give 4.3 bananas if you want. Like I gave something 4 1/4 bananas last week, so you can do that if you like.
Right, well I'm going to give it 4.
Okay.
So have you got any other, do you want to do another, something different you want to talk about, or another review of a film?
Or recommendation.
Recommendation, sorry. We can do our retro movie recommendation next.
Okay, go on then. Well, so yeah, we're gonna go back in time, and we're not.
Back in time.
No, it's not Back to the Future. I was using that song, which is used in the film, to reference, to going back in time to do this bit about old films.
Okay, well it's a film. I'll describe it for you and see if you can guess what the film is.
Okay.
It's a film with one of the greatest twists in movie history, because you think it's about painting fences and cleaning cars, but in fact it's about a karate tournament.
That's a good one, Stephen. Yeah.
Do you know the film?
Karate Kid. Yeah.
Karate Kid, yes, thank you. Well, the film was on a Sunday afternoon, so I decided to watch it, and I haven't seen it for a long time, and I thought, on reflection, the film would actually be better if it wasn't actually about him training and just about him doing odd jobs.
Yeah.
Because I found the odd jobs more interesting than the fighting.
Well, yeah, I think it'd be more interesting if he learnt how to do trades. Like, he was just really lazy. Daniel LaRusso was just a really lazy guy, kind of depressed, lazy, smoked loads of weed. And then Mr. Miyagi was like, "Not there's anything wrong with smoking weed, but for Daniel, it wasn't doing him any favours."
It's illegal.
Well, it's not, is it? In America now, it's not.
It would have been in 1984.
It would have been in the 80s, yeah. But anyway, so he's a slacker. No good. And then Mr. Miyagi's like, "Oh, you need a work ethic. I teach you a work ethic." Ooh. And then teach him all the painting and stuff. Sorry for the that accent there. I think it's nearly Japanese,
then
isn't
at
it?
the tournament.
But yeah, then he gets his own business, and I reckon it's better like this. So he's a depressed teen, and he's going to commit suicide. Like, Mr. Miyagi finds him when he's going to hang himself or something like that. This is a bit dark, but it's all right. It gets better. Mr. Miyagi's like, "Oh, what are you doing? No, you cannot do this. I give you reason for living. Tomorrow morning, you turn up at my house." And then he goes, "Man, I want to kill myself even more now." And then at the end of the day, he goes, "Look what you have achieved. You have painted all of this fence." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I see now. I see my life could be. I could do something in my life. And do you know, you can make money from painting fence." And then he's like, "Oh right." And then next day, he shows how to wax a car. He's like, "Do you know, you can make money from waxing a car." And then, Russo, but then by the end of the thing, he slowly gets more happy. Then he meets Elizabeth Shue, because he's got more about him. She meets him while he's going to get more paints for his painting business or whatever. And then, and then it all kicks off from there. And then, but the end of the film is him successfully opening up his own business and making quite a bit of money.
Yeah, similar to that, I've got a different ending to the film.
Yeah.
When he does the crane, he sweeps his leg.
Yeah.
It just knocks him completely
when
on
he's
his
doing all
arse.
that, Johnny just jumps down and goes crack, just kicks him in the leg, just sweeps his other leg, because one leg's fucked, isn't it already? So how did he do the crane lick kick? I don't know.
He does it on the with the power of his mind.
What? That doesn't make any sense. Oh no, and Mr. Miyagi fixed his did a Chinese burn on him, a Japanese burn, I should say, because he's Japanese. But yeah.
Oh, it gets to the tournament because he still wants to fight the guy, and he says to Mr. Miyagi, "This is weird training. It's like I haven't actually been trained how to fight." And Mr. Miyagi says,
"Oh yeah, fighting. Yeah, oh okay. Go and fight. Yeah, now."
Then he gets his head kicked in, and all his teeth staved into the back of his head, and then it freeze frames on the other guy who won.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's pretty good. Or instead of sweeping the leg, like when they go to Bobby, when they goes to, what's the main the Cobra Sensei guy's name? I can't remember. But he goes, "Bobby, sweep the leg." And then he goes, "But I'll be disqualified." And he does that, and he fucks Lucio up. Instead of sweeping his leg, he just sweeps his head.
Or
He just that same kick he did in his leg. He just kicks him LaRusso straight in the head, and then that's the same as your ending, really. Best that it just ends quicker.
Finish him! You're dead.
Do you think The Karate Kid's a Christmas movie? Because the tournament's on December the 19th.
Oh yeah, because it's a bit so fucking sunny. See, that's the problem with these California films. If that was in the Pacific Northwest, then there may have been a bit of rain or something to notify it being a different season.
Right, so let's just do one scene from The Karate Kid, which is one of my favourite scenes.
Okay.
And you'll be able to do this perfectly, because I've already heard you do Mr. Miyagi's voice. So I'll play Danny LaRusso. Let's do the scene where Danny comes in. Is it Danny LaRusso? What's his name? Danny
LaRusso, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he comes
going home in a body bag, LaRusso. That was one of the lines of the film. Okay.
Okay,
Sorry.
he walks in to find Mr. Miyagi in his old soldier's uniform, drunk from whiskey, and talking about his dead wife.
Come here, fly. Oh, try to catch a stupid fly.
He doesn't do that in that bit.
Yeah, but I'm doing what? So I've got to do it fucking scene for scene.
The emotional bit.
I've got to do movement for movement, have I?
Yeah, we're talking about his dead
Yeah,
wife.
I know. I was doing the singing bit. He's like, oh, when Danny comes in, he's just there in his uniform, kneeling at some shrine, going, oh. That's what I was doing. I was adding a bit more to it by playing with the chopsticks at the same time. I know it's not in that particular scene, but I'm referencing another thing. I was doing a bit.
But he doesn't sing the song the Mogwai
Should we get Pat Morita in here to do it, shall we? Why instead of me?
No, he's dead.
You want it to be fucking... Yeah, obviously. Oh, dear.
He doesn't sing the song the Mogwai sings.
What, is that what I was doing?
Sounded like it.
No, it wasn't. I was just... Well, what song does he sing? It's something like that, isn't it? That doesn't sound Japanese. That sounds kind of Japanese.
Anyway, that's our retro review of
Fake
The Karate
Japanese.
Kid.
Wait. Oh, Daniel, wait, we didn't even do our scene. You stopped me from doing the scene. Did you
Okay, I've got another scene then.
Oh, God.
Right.
I thought you were going to walk in and play Daniel. I thought you were meant to be Danny LaRusso, no?
Yeah, but you can't remember the scene
I
properly.
can. Yeah, I can. I was just adding a bit more. Oh, never mind. Yeah.
Have you heard Robbie Williams' new single in the Felix advert? And what do you think?
Yeah, it's horrible, isn't
It's
it?
a banger.
Oh. You think it's a banger?
He's really going places now. I reckon he'll play Glastonbury.
Yeah. No, I haven't got much to say about that, Steve. I don't like Robbie Williams. No, sorry, take that back. I don't mind Robbie Williams. I've got nothing particular against him, but I don't like his. I don't rate his music. I wouldn't buy any of his music. I think Gary Barlow's a better musician. I mean, more talented musician, more gifted, he's a better songwriter, say. But I've never bought any of his stuff either. I've sung along to it on the radio. You know, I'll listen to a Gary Barlow on the radio. You and me, we can fly like a star. We can do something or other. We can drive a car. Or whatever the words are. That one. That's all right. You and me, we can fly like a star. That was it called? Shine like a star. But I would never buy it, Stephen. I would
Fair
never
enough.
buy it.
Would you buy Felix cat food though?
No, because I don't have a cat.
Well, there we go then. So that's resolved that problem.
But if I had a cat...
Talking of music, Elton John's last gig is Glastonbury.
The one
coming up. Yeah, he's going to headline. Oh, yes. Excited about that?
No. I was talking about that.
You don't like him either.
I mean, he's 80 years old, isn't he? No.
He's getting on a bit.
No, but apparently, no, he's all right. I haven't seen him play live recently. Has he still got it?
He does this weird thing with his voice. He sounds quite gruff now.
Oh, does he? Ooh.
Yeah, he was on the One Show singing with his piano a while ago, and he sounded a little bit gruff. But he is like 80,
I'm a rocket man, doing something in the sky.
That's what he'll probably do, change up some of his songs for a modern audience. Like he did with that song where he mixed two of his songs together.
Norma Jean. Do. And what's my favourite one? Blue Jean Baby, LA Lady, seems just for the band.
Do you know my favourite Elton John song? Got up in your wishing well.
That's wet,
your
wet,
hops inside it.
That's wet.
Tell you what?
That's wet.
Oh.
From the movie. Oh no, it's not from the movie. I was going to say from the movie Four Weddings and a Funeral.
Right,
it's
talking
not.
of movies, let's
That's
move
the
on
other
to
one.
movies, because we are Cinema Chimp and Movie Man. So, there was a
Movie
movie
Man.
you recommended for me to watch this week called Sharper on Apple TV Plus. Sharper.
I'd read about it ages ago, and I thought it sounded quite. I thought, oh yeah, it's a con artist film, a confidence scamming film, and sometimes they can be good. And I thought it had John Lithgow in it and Julianne Moore. I thought, oh yeah, this could be quite good. But I was wrong.
Motivations are suspect and expectations are turned upside down as a con artist takes on...
Stop! I'm nipping this in the bud. We do recommendations here. I'm not recommend. This isn't a recommendation, so this is a complete waste of time.
You recommended me to watch it, though.
I recommended us both watch it, and then we watched it and we said it was shit. So it's not. So we can't recommend it to someone else, can we?
What didn't you like about it then?
Everything. It was shit.
Well, I thought it was dull and predictable, with a plodding pace, little suspense and twists, and anyone that loves heist films will identify all the twists well in advance.
Yeah.
And you did straight away at the beginning, and I got it wrong.
Yeah. I said that guy's going to get the money. He's the main heist guy. He's the main twist guy.
Yes.
He's the main confidence. He's the main scammer.
Yeah.
And it turned out he was, yeah.
And the scam at the end is rubbish. It's like a rubbish version of The Sting.
Yeah. It's just terrible. Yeah, the plodding. What was it? The pacing, plodding pace. Yeah, it was. Yeah, so it wasn't even entertaining. Unlike say Luther, which is ridiculous and totally over the top, ridiculous bullshit as well. That was quite. Well, that's a completely different film. That's got like, you know.
So let's talk about
chase
why
scenes.
you've changed the subject to Luther. I know you didn't
Yeah.
want to talk about it because you
Okay.
said it's recommendations, not shit films.
Yeah.
But I might as well talk about them because you've
I
seen
know.
them.
I don't mind. It's quite fun to fucking shoot a film down. To be fair, in the
What
past.
didn't you like about Luther?
What didn't I like about Luther?
Well, you saw Luther as well on Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, what are you going to give Sharper on IMDb, by the way? What do you think it got?
Oh.
And what would you give it?
I'd give it. I wouldn't give it anything more than a 4. So it's a 2-star, if that.
And what about IMDb?
I think they would have been pretty cruel to it as well. I would say I can't imagine it's got more than 4, 5.
Well, you're in for a shock, big boy.
What?
IMDb gave it 6.6 out of 10.
Well, they're
and
fucking-
Rotten Tomatoes gave it 70%.
Those idiots. Fucking.
And the
I mean,
audience gave it 70% as well. 74.
that's just. It's not. That's not right. That's no SIBO.
That's not right.
No SIBO. Go and watch that. If you're finding yourself going, oh, and debating whether to watch No SIBO or Sharper, watch No SIBO, because that is a 70% film or a 6.6 or whatever. Yeah, I don't know, some weird people in the world, because that film is terrible.
Right, okay. Luther. So what did you think of Luther? It's not about Lex Luthor, is it? It's about the guy who's going to be the next James Bond.
John Luther.
Idris Elba.
I'm John Luther. I'm breaking out of prison to solve a serial killer
The
thing.
crime of my life.
Yeah, the serial killers everywhere. I'm going to catch them all.
I'll get into the mind of serial killers.
Yeah, it's I don't watch the show, so that's why I was intrigued. I was like, oh, a standalone film. I was like, why not? What's all the fuss about?
Why not?
It's in Dolby Vision, so it looks fantastic. It looks like all your Hollywood films. It is shot with those really expensive Netflix cameras that cost like $100,000 each or whatever. Dolby Vision. You've seen the little thing, Dolby Vision. It's got like an adjustive HD or whatever, isn't it? Like it sort of adjusts the picture as you're depending on what you're watching or something. I don't know. You have to look up the technology behind it. But I think it looks, compared to the normal 4K stuff, it looks the best Ultra HD or whatever. Because you've got Ultra HD 4K, and Dolby Vision and all this shit. But Dolby Vision, in my opinion,
is that the only thing you've seen in Dolby Vision on Netflix?
No,
or is there other
there's
things
loads
then?
of shit on there. But a lot of the time, I will choose to watch something because it's got Dolby Vision. But
do you have to turn that on, or does it come on automatically?
It's just on. It's just
Hooray!
It's just filmed in Dolby Vision. Yeah.
I've got an old CRT
it's
TV.
just a form of 4K, basically.
I've got an old CRT cathode ray tube.
Yeah,
Will
I
it
know.
work on that?
No.
Oh, does it work in black and white?
I mean, yeah. You can turn the settings to black and white, can't you?
So Luther, what are you going to give it, or what do you think of it?
I thought it was silly, but very entertaining. It's a good page, like the Da Vinci Code. I guess it's like the movie equivalent of the Da Vinci Code. Kind of silly, stupid, but entertaining. Well, I mean, it's not. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's as entertaining as it is dumb.
Do you want to know what the critic consensus is and see if you agree with it?
Yeah.
Long-time fans will be happy to have more of Idris Elba's brilliant detective.
Yeah.
But Luther, the fallen son, is fairly uninspired addition to his case files.
It's not inspired in the slightest. It's been done before. It's like Andy Serkis's villain is just really over the top. He's a cartoon character. He's basically like the Black Panther guy. But, he makes the Black Panther cartoon, the South African guy in Black Panther, look really tame.
Do you know what? Just you telling me that Andy Serkis plays a villain,
Yeah.
I can already see him in my head.
In one scene,
exactly what he does.
He's got like a Liberace-style hairdo, and he manages to kill. He kills about 1 million people by shaming them. Like he finds out their shit. Like he finds out their deepest, darkest secrets somehow on the internet using some other guys on the internet. It's not really explained at all, any of it, properly, and then somehow gets them all to kill themselves or go and do whatever he wants because they're so ashamed that he wouldn't. I don't know.
Sounds like Black Mirror.
I don't think that many people get that shamed by stuff, and they would
Not this day and age.
would rather die than live with the shame. Like what is it? I didn't understand how he managed to find all these people that were that shamed by something that they would do all that stuff. So that's silly. But then if you suspend your disbelief, it's watchable. There's quite a few fight scenes with Luther. There's quite a few good set pieces.
So would he make a good James Bond?
Him breaking out of prison was quite good. They did that. I mean, it was ridiculous. It would never have happened, obviously, but they dealt with the set. It was quite entertaining to watch, I guess, kind of.
Let's move on.
I mean,
we don't like the film, so
No.
we don't want to talk about it too much.
No.
Let's just see what your scores match their scores then. So what would you give it? What do you think IMDb gave
Well, I'd have
it?
to give it. See, a 3-star seems a bit much, but then if I watched something all the way through and I thought it was entertained me, and I didn't feel bored at any point, then I guess I've got to give it a 3-star.
3 bananas.
3 bananas. No, you know what? Fuck that. 2.8 bananas.
And sharper, by the way, you forgot. That's 1 banana. That's no bananas.
Oh yeah, that's no. Yeah,
we didn't even give it. We didn't even mention bananas.
I said 2. I said 2.
Hey,
if
that's
that,
a
but not-
banana skin.
yeah, nice one.
Nice one.
Special graphic for that.
Anyway, so yeah, IMDb gave it 6.5. Rotten Tomatoes gave it. What do you think they gave it? Or what would you give
So
it?
IMDb gave it 6.5.
Yeah.
There we go. So they're on the 3 banana mark then with me. And Rotten Tomatoes, I reckon audiences will like it. I mean, so I'm going to go 80%.
Very good. 85 for the audience score. And what do you think the critic score
I'm good
is?
at this. Critics is, I reckon, less. I reckon it's late 60s.
68.
I mean, if there was some sort of award for guessing, if I could profit from this somehow.
All right,
If there
don't
was
beat
only-
yourself up too
If
much.
there's only some way I could capitalise on this skill for guessing.
Sadly, you can't because only
IMDb
50
and
people watch this
Rotten
show.
Tomatoes. Oh, scores. Oh well.
Oh, one more question before we finish that. Do you think he'd make a good James Bond? Now you've seen him play Luther.
Yeah, well, that's another thing as well in that film. Towards the end, they'd have a little James Bond joke because after. Sorry, I'm going to do spoilers here. Is it a spoiler? Yeah, so spoilers. Bit of a spoiler in case you're planning on watching Luther. I'm about to kind of spoil it now. So yeah, you've had your warning. So just ignore this or skip it on 10 seconds, whatever. So at the end. After he's done everything, well, I suppose this isn't really ruining it because you don't expect Luther to die, do you? Luther survives this, by the way, guys. It's a bit hairy at some point, but he survives. But he's meant to have done all this shit. He gets kind of pardoned for breaking out, but when he breaks out of prison, loads of people get hurt, including prison guards and stuff. So, don't know. That's a bit iffy. It's like, well, don't know. But then not only that, they're like, Yeah, the MI5 turn up at the end of the film and then someone comes out and goes, the gaffer, not only have you been pardoned, the gaffer wants a word. After you breaking out of prison and doing all that and then catching a serial killer, I suppose they would be like, well, yeah, fuck me, give the guy a fucking job, give him the James Bond job. But then it's like, he's not getting the James Bond job, is he? Aaron Taylor Johnson's getting it, isn't he? I think so. I think he's front runner for it at the moment.
Well, we'll see when it comes out.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about something else then.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So, as you know, it was my birthday this week, and I had a good time. Well, you know it's my birthday. People watching won't know it's my birthday.
You're now closer to 50 than you are to 40, Stephen, aren't you?
I'm not that old. I'm quite a young scamp still, so let's not muck around like that.
In human years, you're a bit young and stupid, naive, but in chimp years.
So, a couple of things I want to say. I went to the gym for my birthday. What would you think about this? One of the men splashed me with their sweat.
On purpose? What, he was like working out and went, hey guy.
I think so. No. Yeah, he was working out next to me, doing his pecs, and his sweat went on my fur.
Ugh.
What would you say about that?
I don't know. I wouldn't. It's a bit awkward. I wouldn't go, hey guy, your body's sweating. You're sweating on me. When you're doing a workout and that, your sweat's coming onto me. Was he a big guy? How big was he?
Yeah, he's bigger than me.
Well, then, you don't say shit, do you? You just go,
no, I didn't.
Just politely move away and go, that's just disgusting.
Thanks for helping me out.
So then, you just move away from him because you don't want to get sweat on you,
Thank
do you?
you, Greg. That's why I ask you this.
Yeah.
Could you help me out with my life choices?
Or you spit in his face, or you get a big bit of chimp scat and fucking sling it in his face, and then start chewing at his face.
I've stopped doing that now.
Don't chew his face off, just slung scat on it. Chew at his groin, his hands, and all the other stuff that chimps do. Jaw. And then sling some scat in his face.
I get too violent when I see the red mist, and I can just totally rip someone apart. Anyway, let's move on. So it was my birthday, and only one person came to my birthday, and they were on their phone through my whole birthday.
No, it wasn't. I wasn't on my phone the whole time.
Well, anyway, so I got this for my birthday. It's another recommendation, but it's not a movie. And it's something you have to buy on DVD on Amazon, because you won't find it anywhere else. It's called Throwaway History.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what we watched on your birthday.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Throwaway History.
Yes, and I watched all of that. I wasn't on my phone.
Right, so basically, it's about everything we throw away nowadays, and we don't keep it, and we just think it's rubbish, but it shows you all the brands throughout all the years and where they came from and old packaging. And if you don't throw it away, it's part of our nostalgic history. So that's basically it, really. But it was very good. Yeah. It's very interesting.
We're not doing it very much justice here. I can't put a comical spin on it. It's just really interesting. You'll just go, oh! I mean, if you're at all interested in old adverts and stuff like that, an old packaging.
The man that narrates it and who made the film, he owns the Museum of Brands in London. Yeah. So he looks into the history of old products. Yeah. So he made a film about it.
Like crisps they don't do anymore. You'll be like, oh yeah, I remember them. Oh, I remember. Yeah, if you watch it, you'll just spend the whole time going, oh, you remember? I remember that. I remember that. I remember that. I remember that. And then but then it's really interesting looking at some of your favourites that are still your favourites today. And then looking at all the old packaging in the 70s, 80s, 70s, and then going back. Obviously stuff like Tate and Lyle, which is going back to the 1800s, and which is obviously still banging them out today, golden syrup and all that shit. Yeah. So that's all it's all interesting stuff.
One thing it talks about that you don't get anymore is free gifts in cereal packets. What was your favourite free gift, Greg?
I wasn't that fussed about. I honestly can't remember. I remember having them. Pogs? No. Pogs. I think Pogs were.
They weren't in cereals. They were in
too
crisps.
old for I think Pogs were too young.
They were in crisps.
Oh, they're in crisps. I don't know. I don't remember one.
Anyway, one question it left me with was, why don't Salt and Shake crisps
Spokey Dokes?
What?
Spokey Dokes. They were the best things you got, weren't they? The things you put on your spokes, on your BMX. They just rattled shitty plastic things that went ding 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 every time you rode your bike around. It's like the worst thing if you had your bike. You'd burn your bike now if you had them on them. You'd just go like fucking hell, throw it in the skip. But for some reason they were desirable for a week back in the day. Yeah, sorry mate.
So one question it left me with was, why don't the Salt and Shake crisps, where they put a little packet of salt in, why don't they just pre-salt them?
Well, they do now, don't they, Steve? But yeah, I never understood why that was a thing. Why because did they do it because it was cheaper? But it couldn't have been cheaper to individually package a bit of salt. Surely it would have been easier just to put the salt on the crisps, or was that? Or do they just think, oh, it's just such a nice do-it-yourself thing? It's like, oh, like what's it? Fucking tailor-made, bespoke crisps, I guess. Like, ooh, I want just this much salt on.
This many granules.
Custom made
Bespoke.
salt. Bespoke,
The
custom made.
perfect salted crisps.
Yeah. I mean, I did quite like them. I liked... I like putting my own salt on. So I suppose it makes them feel a bit more fresh in a way. You're like, yeah.
Fresh
The
salt in a
salt's
blue
only just been
bag.
put on. Yummy.
Delicious. One of life's rich tapestries. One of life's rich treats. No, there must be a better word for it than
Yeah.
that.
Rich indulgence.
Hey, here's a little cool movie fact for you. You know the movie Charlie's Angels from the year 2000?
Oh, I've got paint all over my hands. Never mind. The one directed by McGee.
You mean nail varnish?
No, just white nail varnish.
You know the movie Charlie's Angels from 2000?
McGee's Charlie's Angel.
Yep, that's the one. Do you know the main villain in that? What they were doing in that film? They were trying to stop an evil company from tracking everyone's mobile phones, your location.
What? Well, what? Why? So they I assume they stopped. They failed their mission then, did they?
They must have done.
Oh, the Angels. I prefer the old Angels. The old Angels would have sussed it. Would have fucking stopped it.
Right,
Stopped
before
them.
we move on to our next movie review, we need to loosen up with a few
Yeah.
chatsy improv bits.
Yeah.
Right, so the first thing I want to ask you is, do your best impression, are you ready?
Yeah.
Of the music that goes with a catchphrase on the TV show. So you know not the movie, you know the TV show Catchphrase?
Yeah.
When they reveal the catchphrase, they have, that's it.
Like that.
That's not bad. Down, 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 kick it down, down,
That's good.
down, boo, down, down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's it.
Okay, moving on then. Right. So, do you think you'd make a good butler?
I'm sorry, Mr. Stevens. Yes, I must. Oh, Mr. Stevens. Oh, that's my father. Oh, he's dead. I must go. I am Mr. Stevens. So that's me. That's me that's me as Anthony Hopkins in
Okay,
The Maze of the
let's go.
Day, having a breakdown.
James. James.
Yes. Oh, yes, sir.
James.
Yes, sir. Mr. Stevens is dying at the moment. I'm just going to go and tend to him, sir, and then I'll come back to you.
No, James. Make me a cup of tea.
Oh, okay. I'll do that first. Even though it's my father who's dying. Never mind.
You can visit him
here's your
after you
tea.
made me a cup of tea, James.
I've made the cup of tea because I'm such a good butler. I've made it really quickly. There you go, sir.
You would be a good butler,
Is there anything
especially if
else?
you channel Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on to another movie. So, because we need to talk about movies, because that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Right, so the next movie we watched was a big smash hit movie called, it's a biography of Emily Bronte, and it's called Emily. So what did you think of the movie Emily?
What do you mean the 10
Let me
minutes?
just tell you about it first.
The
Let me
10
just-
minutes we
Let
saw
me
of
just
it.
tell you about it first. With bracingly irreverent approach to its story, and Emma Mackay bringing Bronte vibrantly to life, Emily is a biopic that manages to feel true while taking entertaining, creative liberties. So, we watched how much of this film, Greg?
I don't think we've got enough experience or knowledge about Emily Bronte. We had enough experience or knowledge of Emily Bronte going in because I think this film would have worked for people who knew her story. Because as far as we were concerned, that was her story. So we didn't realise it was an irreverent take. So that's obviously what the main conceit of the film is that like, oh, it's not really her story, and that's why it's playing with, playing with the with history or whatever, and. Like a bit much like Once Upon a Time and like Tarantino's films, like Inglourious Basterds or Once Upon a Time in America. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, sorry. So it's like rewriting history. But if you don't know the history to begin with, then you can't really, can't really rate it on how well it's doing in that respect, can you? Can't say, oh, yeah, it was really good at doing that when you didn't know it was doing that. We thought it was just a story about her life, didn't we?
Yeah, I wanted you to watch it because I read it's imagining and transformative, exhilarating, and it's an uplifting journey of womanhood and a rebel and a misfit, just like us. One of the world's famous, enigmatic and provocative writers who died too soon at the age of 30. And that's what I thought it was, but it wasn't. It was like just some ITV drama.
Yeah. I thought, yes, I thought...
Poldark.
I thought, when you first said about it, I thought it was going to be a documentary, so that would have been more interesting, because I don't know, maybe we should have watched the documentary on Emily Bronte first, and then we'd been much more interested in the film, and then in the film taking liberties. Yeah, then we would have noticed or recognised the liberties that the film has taken and gone like, oh, that's clever. They've turned that on its head and turned this on its head. It's like, but if we didn't know...
Well, we only watched 15 minutes of it, so do you want to give some scores of what you think it got and what you give it then?
I'd still give it more than Sharper.
So IMDb, what do you think it got on IMDb?
I can't tell when I've got no...
Have a go though. You're good at this.
I've got no concept of what the film is.
You're good at this,
I'm good though. I can guess I can guess. I'm pretty good at guessing what IMDb. I can tell by the title and who's in it. Like what IMDb will give it. Okay. Do it. Here we go. I reckon it's a late sevens again. I'm gonna go 7.8.
6.9.
Oh damn.
And Rotten Tomatoes. What do you think they gave it?
I've never a whole point away.
I want audience and critic.
Rotten Tomatoes. I'm gonna go audience. But then the audience, it's only going to be people that want to watch that film who are going to watch it. So it's not going to be like, you're not going to get average Dave Cinema going down to, you know what I mean? The same guy who gets Vox Popped coming out of fucking Top Gun 2 going like, yeah, I loved it. And all the old people back, all the fucking planes, I fucking loved it. He's not going to be going to watch the Bronte film, is he? And he's not going to go, I wasn't expecting this is shit.
Yeah, that's you're talking about. You've just done a description of yourself.
Dave Cinema. I'm Greg Cinema.
You are Dave Cinema.
My name's Greg Cinema.
The movie man.
So I think the people who are watching it are people who are actually invested in that sort of shit anyway. They're like, oh, the Bronte thing. So I'm going to say 70s, 80%.
84 for the audience. And what do you think the critics gave it?
And again, it's I'm going to take what I already know about IMDb, and I'm going to go 70%.
84.
Oh, what? 84 for both?
Oh no, sorry. Did I say 84 for the critics?
You confuse it by insisting on doing the critics and the fucking audience, but yeah.
Well, about 86. There's roughly the same.
Okay, yeah.
Right, okay. So, I've got to...
Fuck you, stupid shit cunt. Fucking cunt. Funny bone. Hilarious. Fucking makes all the fucking nerves in my hand go, fucking stupid. I can't run, but you never get any flesh over your fucking funny bone. So, what were we saying? What are you talking about?
Well, we were talking about Emily and then you talked about your funny bone. But that brings me on to... your funny bones reminded me of another review. Well, not a review, but something I wanted to do, like a retro flashback homage. A bird made of a fish, and musical fans loved the adaptation of Fiddler on the Roof.
What the fuck?
Yes, the film Fiddler on the Roof, the musical. Yeah,
sorry, but I don't. I didn't understand any of the words you just fucking said. What the fuck are you going on about? A fish, a bird, a blah blah blah. The Fiddler on the Roof. What the fuck are you talking about? Say it all again. Sorry, maybe it did make sense. I just wasn't paying attention.
Maybe it did. But what I'd like to do now is just one of what I can remember of one of my favourite songs from Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh right, okay. That's what. Is that all you said? I just want to do what I can remember of one of my favourite songs of Fiddler on the Roof. Is that all you said?
No, I did a description of the movie.
Oh, okay.
If I were a rich man,
all day long I do. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go on, carry on, Stephen. I thought we were doing a duet.
No, that's all right. No, I won't bother now.
All day long I dibby do. If I were a wealthy man, I'd never have to work hard.
That's enough.
Is it?
Before we do a next movie review, I just want to say a few words about the love of my life, Mangita. So,
you'll never meet her.
Hotting up a little bit this week, Greg.
Oh yeah.
And
in Make Believe Land. I mean, you haven't met her in person yet, have you?
No, but that's what I wanted to tell you. So basically, she lives in Brazil, as you know, but she says she wants to come over here and see me. But she just needs a passport. So I'm going to give her £600 for her passport, and she's going to be coming over to visit me soon.
Well, you may as well do that, yeah.
You'll get to meet her.
Yeah.
I've got a picture of her as well. You can put it up.
I think you should probably give her £1,000 because I don't think you can get a decent passport for £600.
She says she only needs £600 for the passport.
It usually costs more than that.
We've been chatting about what we're going to be doing. We're going to go to London and get a hotel.
Sure you are, yeah.
And I'm going to take around all the sites, the Natural History Museum.
Mm-hmm, sure.
Some of the other stuff, the Science Museum, that's my favourite. But it's going to be really romantic.
Yeah.
She's such a beautiful angel. She really has stolen my heart. And you know what? When you get a girl in your life like that, you really don't want to let her go. Anyway, how's your love life, Greg? How's the dating? I hear you've moved from Tinder to Bumble.
Don't you have to get them before you let them go?
I feel like she's told me she loves me.
They've got to be in the same room as them at least first, haven't you? Before you have to let someone go.
Yeah, but she's told me she loves me, and she will be in the same room as me soon.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have anything more funny to say about this, or
it's not meant to be funny,
or helpful to say. And I don't have anything to say. I'm happy for you, Stephen.
That's all I wanted to hear.
I don't think she's ripping you off. I think if anything, you should give her more money.
No.
Or give me some money if you want. And yeah, great, all the best. I'm not. Cause I may have come across as a little bit better.
Yes, you did a little bit.
A little bit bitter.
You should be happy for a friend.
But no, I am happy for a friend. As I said, I'm not against the. If I met a woman I fell in love with and it was all peachy and she wasn't a complete dick, then cool, yeah, I'd be up for that. I'd be like, yes, that would be great. But I think if you pin all your hopes on it, it's like, oh, I must be with someone or whatever, then you're fighting a losing battle. You're never going to be with someone if you act like that way.
But you said that you were leaving Tinder to go on to Bumble, the other side, and you're going to do a little review of that one.
Right, okay.
So what's that one like?
Well, it takes me a long time to do everything like this. So the thing is, right, so you may think from showing those photos before that I'm like kind of vain or something, but I'm not, far from it. And I hate taking pictures of myself, but you'd think I'd like taking pictures of myself because I take so many of them when I do have to take pictures of myself.
Like Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, well, exactly. And everyone does. Everyone's so vain these days that they are. Then the older you get, it gets worse. I mean, you're meant to be like, oh, I'm more comfortable with myself, but really you are. You sort of, it's weird, isn't it, getting older? You sort of become more comfortable with yourself, but at the same time, you kind of get vainer as well because you're constantly getting worse looking, really. I mean, yeah. You are dying slowly, so it kind of makes sense that you will sort of look at the same time. But then I think you're better at pretending. Like the older you get, you're better at you're better at pretending you don't care what you look like. You know what I mean? Whereas everyone really does care what they look like.
So have you actually started on Bumble yet? Then? Or have you just taken hundreds of pictures?
Sorry, the point of this was So at the moment, my mission is to get back on Casting Collective, right? So that was where I do my extras work. So that's how I got to be in Men in Black International. That's how I got to not be in Men in Black International. That's how I got to see my elbow. If I can find a clip, I'll put it up and show you where I meant to be in Men in Black International. Okay, I'm coming up in the next scene. And I'm just outside that club there, in that doorway. So that's blink and you miss it. I'll get a still of it. Oh, hang on a minute. And I got another acting gig, although it never saw the light of day, for that health and safety video, and that was well paid. That was like £360 a day or something. I got 2 days work out of that. It never saw the light of day. It would have been hilarious, me jumping out of the way of imaginary lorries and stuff, like all green screen. I didn't even get.
Would it have been hilarious though?
Well, you tell me. Me, like going, pretending to walk out into the middle of a road and going. And then diving out the way.
You're rocking the table a bit there.
For Casting Collective, as part of that, so there's this acting agency, you have to provide a headshot. You have to provide a shot of your face, what it looks like. You have to provide a full-length shot of you, but they say full length, but it's knees to head, so they get an idea of what you look like standing up. And then one of you smart, which is kind of the same as the full length one. They want it to be, they don't specify on exactly how much your body's in shot, but basically I base my photos on the examples they've given. So the example of, well, I can show you the pictures. Here's an example of the headshot for off Casting Collective. Here's an example of the fucking full body shot, and here's an example of the smart photo. So, and now here are my versions, and they're all basically exactly the same. But the good thing about these photos is they're perfect for dating websites as well. So by getting you to do that, it's showing you in 3 different which is, I was lazy with my Tinder thing. It looked like I'd had a face transplant, that photo I did. That one that I thought was a good photo. The problem is with Tinder, I've got body dysmorphia, so chronic body dysmorphia as well. I am never happy with what I mean. I'm always just constantly... I'll look back at old photos of me and I'll be like, fuck, I looked all right then. And then at the time, I was like, oh, I'm hideous or whatever, and it's terrible. So I'm happy in hindsight. I'm always like, oh, I didn't look that bad, but I'm just never happy with the way I look. Anyway, so yeah, it's a bit of a struggle. But so after I've taken 400 photos and I've got 5 good ones, and then I play around with editing them, and then I enjoy that part. I enjoy the editing process and making myself look as good as I can in these photos. But I don't think I look good. That's the whole point. It's like, yeah. But anyway, 2 days pouring through photos of myself, going, nope, mouth's a bit crooked there, nope, eyes squinty there, nope. Hands, your fingers are pointing out. There's one where I'm crossing my arms like that, and because you can see my two fingers poking out my arm there, I'm like, nope, can't use that one. It's it's bad, yeah. But then if you're putting yourself forward for this casting thing or whatever, then you don't know what might make a difference. And be like, oh, he looks fucking weird in that photo. He looks all right in that one, but he looks weird in that one. So you've got to get it right, and that's why I didn't. That's why I haven't been a member of Casting Collective for so long, because when it came to renewing my photos, I was just like, I can't be bothered, because I knew how long it's such a long process for me to take some good photos, because you've got to renew your photos every 6 months or so, because otherwise, you could have got fat or thin or whatever. So I just didn't bother. But now it's about time. It's been a while since I used to quite like getting the thingies through, even though they only put me through for 2 fucking gigs. But you never knew. I kept getting things for the next James Bond film, whatever. But now I've got a shaved head. Maybe that's a different look. Before I was a guy who was trying to cling on to his hair, and I probably didn't get as much work. So his hair looks fucking awkward. He's got like that weird patchy hair, and can't do anything with that. Either he's got to wear a wig or be bald. And now I'm bald, I might get more work.
That guy can't cross his arms properly. He's got 2 fingers sticking out.
2 fingers sticking out.
So, do you think you'll have found love by next week?
I might have got into a conversation. I may have got into some sort of texting thing.
Right, okay. So now, can you do your roast rum tum tum version of the Battlestar Galactica theme? Can you even remember?
Rum tum tum, rum tum tum tum, rum tum 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 tum, rum tum tum, rum tum tum, rum tum tum tum, rum tum tum, rum tum tum, rum tum tum tum. Is that it? Was that
that's good. Yeah, that's good.
Buck Rogers?
Buck Rogers.
That's Buck Rogers, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you said Battlestar Galactica.
Let's get back to movies. I just want to recommend a YouTube video to everybody, and we talked about this before, but it's called The Bad Movie Bible, and they've got a new video out called The Best and Worst Weirdest Star Wars Knockoffs. So if you like Star Wars, that's a great video to watch.
Turkish Star Wars.
Loads of crazy different versions of Star Wars. So that's just a recommendation. So now we're going to move on to our next movies, and this one is Missing. Not Missing, the movie's called Missing. Okay, so Missing. Okay, let me tell you what this one's about. When her mother, Nia Long, disappears while on vacation in Colombia with her new boyfriend, June's Storm Reed, search for answers, that's her daughter June, search for answers is hindered by international red tape. Stuck thousands of miles away in Los Angeles, June creatively uses all the latest technology at her fingertips to try and find her before it's too late. But as she digs deeper, her digital sleuthing raises more questions than answers. And when June unravels secrets about her mum, she discovers that she never really knew her at all. Greg, what did you think of Missing?
It's quite interesting I liked all the graphics and that. The graphics are quite good with all the YouTube stuff and.
It's called a
stuff
screen
online.
life film.
Screen.
It's where you see the whole film through video computer screens.
So it was kind of clever, but unrealistic. I didn't buy any of the people, the characters, or their what they did, their actions in it, and I didn't find it particularly I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
Well, I quite liked it, and I'm going to give it 3 bananas.
I found it a little bit boring. I think I was kind of distracted though, so I missed there's a couple of bits I missed.
Were you on your phone playing chess?
I was looking at the chess screen and trying to watch the film at the same time. But for me, if a film's good, I stop playing chess. I'll put my chess screen down. You know, if a film's good enough to grab my attention, then it should stop me from playing chess. This film did not stop me from playing chess, so that just says it all. It's not a chess stopper.
Well, I liked it. So what did you think it got? Do you want to give some scores?
It shouldn't have got anything. No, that's not true. It should get something.
What bananas did you give it?
Technically, it's quite good. I'll give it 2 bananas.
Right.
For
and I gave it 3. So IMDb, what do you think they gave it?
I reckon that not very. I reckon 5.9.
7.2.
Oh, what?
And Rotten Tomatoes, what do you think they gave it?
See, I wanted them to give that. They probably think it's clever. Yeah, they'll think it's cleverer than I did. I just didn't rate. I didn't believe the acting. If I'm honest, I didn't believe the people in it that much. I don't think the guy. They wouldn't have done. They wouldn't have done the things they did in the film. And for me, that it's hard to get really invested in. But then saying that, you can say the same thing about Luther.
Yeah,
so
I think that
it just didn't look as good as Luther.
Personally, I think it constrained credulity in its efforts to keep us, the audience, guessing.
Yeah.
But a fast pace and relatable fears keep the twisty techno thriller from completely losing its way.
Yes. Well, yeah, that I'd agree with that. Yeah, the incredulity is a bit much, but the other shit saves it. Yeah.
Right. So, what do you think Rotten Tomatoes gave it?
RT, 70, 80.
Critics. That's critics, yeah.
70.
88.
Well,
what do you think the audience gave it?
No, 90.
You're quite right. 90 exactly. Bang on the money.
Because Dave Cinema's a fucking idiot.
Right, before we get to our next film review, Greg has actually been to a film show, or a careers show, and he spoke to some people from Disney and Pinewood. Greg is a big collector of movie merch. So he wants to show off some of the movie merch that he's managed to collect throughout the years. So Greg, show off some of your movie merch.
I've been networking with some media bods at Pinewood Studios and Disney with this. Oh,
it's broken. Tell him what it is, Greg. Show him the logo.
It's a lovely pen. It's a lovely flash pen.
Hold it to the camera.
It's all right. I've got another one downstairs. I don't need to hold it up because it won't be in focus.
Put a picture up. People have to see the word on it. Tell them what it says.
And I've said it's from Pinewood. It
says Pinewood on it.
I said. Did I not say I've been networking with
people
from Pinewood?
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, Pinewood and Disney. I met the people from Pinewood and Disney, and I'm now flying the Millennium Falcon in the next Star Wars film.
Yeah, that's what you told me you were doing.
Yep, and I still am. That's what I told you, and I still am doing, and I'll still keep telling you. Yeah, no, they gave me a job as a director of photography. No, I actually spoke to them about stuff like that, though. Apparently, you could just apply for any old job, including...
Well, I thought you went to this careers fair, but it was for children and 16-year-olds, and you were the only adult walking around.
What's wrong with that?
Let's move on.
No, it wasn't. It was a kid's... I don't know why that's so funny. No, it was the kids' day the day before, and I went for the adults' day. But saying that, when I spoke to the people at Sky, and that's not Sky. Sky Elstree Studios. So Sky Studios based at Elstree. Spoke to them, and most of their courses or whatever were based or kitted more towards younger people, like school leavers and stuff. But the stuff that the other people I was talking to, so the people at Pinewood and the people at Disney, that was quite interesting talking to them, because I didn't realise you can actually apply for like director of photography positions and stuff like that. I don't think they're.
What, with no experience?
I think with assistant. What do you mean no experience? The director of photography. I'm a. Getty stole my photo's been used at least 4 times.
Let's hope they didn't ask you for any photos, eh?
I did show them my photo.
Because you'd be there for weeks taking photos for them as well as Bumble and Tinder and Casting Collective.
Yeah. But yeah, so you can. I don't think it's very often that assistant director of photography comes up, but they do apparently. Those sort of jobs do come up. Editing, all sorts, and gaffer, stuff like that. Gaffer, which is like electrician in the movie world, key grips, stuff like that, which is just a moving guy, a removal guy. Just move stuff around, whatever. But all the jobs are there on Pinewood. You can apply for any of them, but also for stuff like director of photography and shit like that, you can forward and share your YouTube videos, stuff like this, and or stuff you've edited, whatever, and your photos and your whole fucking photography thing.
You can fly the Millennium Falcon.
And then you can fly the Millennium Falcon.
Right, let's move on to another film.
Mm-hmm.
Right, this movie's called. It came out last year, but one you might have missed, and we both watched this one in the week. And it's called Funny Pages. It's a bitingly funny coming-of-age story of a teenage cartoonist who rejects the comforts of his suburban life in a misguided quest for his soul. What did you think of Funny Pages, Greg?
You've got to stop talking about films that I haven't fucking watched, like, or that I've only seen part of.
What were you doing
and
when
films
it was
that we don't
on?
fucking like. But I will say this: the 20 minutes I could tell it was good. From the 20 minutes I saw, it was it had a good feel to it. It was well written, well acted, kind of quirky, offbeat, realistic as well. There's a scene with the kid and his parents. The dialogue was all the back and forth were all quite kind of humorous and naturalistic. That's what I took from it initially. I was just like, well, this is quite well written, surprisingly well written and well acted. The scene, quite kind of idiosyncratic in the movie world. Like the way it started with the artist talking to his tutor. Was it his tutor? I think at school, college tutor or something.
Don't ruin any of it.
No, there's no harm in saying that because it's the sort of thing they would say in a movie review. They'll go, in the scene at the beginning of the film, blah, blah,
But
blah.
you just do recommendations.
Yeah, well, but no, I'm going, no, fuck you. I'm going to say, so the scene at the beginning between him, it's this kid who's a talented artist, but he's into comics and drawing rude comics. That's his forte, drawing cocks and shit. Like.
And the actual artwork from the comic in the film is actually a real comic artist, if you look him up.
Okay.
He did the 6911 cartoon. He's done loads of cartoons. He does really disgusting cartoons that are really well thought out.
So there's one of a plane like fucking the Twin Towers or whatever, like with a dick in it, and then the Twin Towers is sucking the plane's dick off, and
6911.
Yeah.
So
so I didn't realise that. That's good though. But the tutor in that he's teaching him about this and that, and then the kid says, "Oh, I want to go to art college," and then the guy's saying, "No, fuck that. Go your own way. Keep drawing your dicks. That's what you're about. You're about drawing dicks." He goes, "Oh, you want to draw? What? You want to draw like live nudes? Come on then." And then this big fat guy just gets up on the chair, up on the table, like, and pulls his pants down and like goes, "Come on then, draw me," and just stands there while his matey starts drawing him, and he's drawing his like little dick and that. They cut away to him drawing his dick and all this shit. The scene gets broken up anyway. He doesn't go the kid leaves and like that scene. But it was a really interesting way to start the film, and and unfortunately I don't want to say more after that because then that would be kind of ruining it. But then annoyingly I stayed awake for those shit ones. The ones I didn't like.
Talk about it then, because I watched the whole
go on
thing.
then.
So maybe it's better if somebody watched the whole thing recommends it rather than somebody watched 20 minutes of it. What do you think?
Yeah, no. See, I said we're not about reviews, but I just
you
reviewed.
agree with that though, don't you?
I just reviewed saying. I'm just saying that from what
you
I saw of the
with
film.
that though, don't you?
What?
That somebody who's watched the whole film should talk about it.
No, I don't really, because you're a retard and you don't fucking say you don't say fuck all about films anyway. So, sorry.
Well, I would say you shouldn't use that word, but I will say the Funny Pages, to me, I tried to watch it once before and I gave up on the first 10 minutes, but this time I thought,
Really?
I've heard some good reviews of it, so I'll stick with it.
The same 10 minutes that I thought was really good, and I'm basing my whole review on, and I'm going to give it my score and guess the scores
I
on
probably
IMDb.
wasn't paying attention, but this time round I thought, no, I'll stick with it because I've heard the ending's really good. It
Okay.
builds up. So the whole film is quite good. But then it builds up to a crescendo of an ending that's absolutely fantastic. So it's worth watching it for the ending alone.
Okay.
If you like comedy and funny movies. The ending's brilliant.
Well, I think it's worth watching for the beginning alone.
So it won't be for all tastes, but it definitely deserves credit for telling a coming-of-age story that leans heavier on cringe comedy rather than on nostalgia.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
Thank you.
It's like the beginning was because it wasn't that cringy, but it was kind of meant to be cringy. But I thought it was kind of quite sweet. It was a weird. I don't
Want to do some scores?
Well, this is a bit of a weird one for me.
I think this one's going to shock you, by the way.
Because it's low.
Well, no, go on. What do you think the audience gave it on Rotten Tomatoes?
Well, I see. They're fucking retards. So I'm going to go with what I give it. Would give it had I seen the whole thing. My guess. What's it?
Oh, what bananas you're going to give
my
it first?
prediction for how good it could have been.
Sorry, do your bananas. I'm jumping ahead. Do your bananas.
I'm guessing. I'm thinking it was a 4 bananas.
Right, so I'm going to go 4 bananas. Yeah, I'll give you that as well. I'll say
Okay.
4 bananas.
Okay.
So what do you think the audience gave it on Rotten Tomatoes?
I'm going to want them to agree with me, so I'm going to say 80%.
Nope.
Which is
51%.
Fuck them. Fuck all you. Fuck the audience.
Okay, so what do you think the critics gave it though?
Critics has got to be more. Critics, I'm going to go aim higher again. 80%.
Correct, 83%.
Yes.
Well, no, 83,
Critics,
but you're close.
Back in the right place. See, that's yeah. Your average Joe Cinema or Dave Cinema, or whatever.
83. Want to do an IMDb as well?
Yeah, IMDb. I'm going to hit the 7s for that.
6.3.
Ah, close. Still a good sturdy 3 bananas, isn't it?
So there we go. Right, okay, before we move on to our next movie review or recommend, what do you think the perfect cinema snack is? My preferences are, well, what do you think? Spaghetti bolognese or a curry?
Mackerel flavoured popping candy. Because it's smelly and loud. No, that's a silly answer. I think popcorn's very good because that's why they have it in cinemas.
Great, I'll say hot dogs as well.
Hot dogs aren't though, are they? They're hot dog, I never get to cinema and go, oh yeah, got to get a hot dog. Popcorn's perfect because you get a large popcorn that lasts you fucking ages. As long as you don't hammer it, but you just sort of just slowly pace yourself with your munching, just like this. I mean, a bit slower than that, maybe. Anyway, you can make a large popcorn last forever. A hot dog's like, you can't slowly bite that throughout the film, can you? Or like, but you pick a mix. You can pick at them every now and again. Pistachios are a good one, but then you got to get rid of the and then just put all the shells in the little thing, the cup holder thing next to you. But then it's got little holes in the bottom. So what you can do is pretend you're being good, but really you're just putting them on the floor. But you could just chuck them on the floor, but because you're pretending to put them in a cup holder, you don't feel bad.
Well done. Greg.
Yes.
So you like Doctor Who, you're a big fan.
No, but
right.
I like the theme tune.
So I've got 2 things I want you to do.
Yeah.
Okay. The first thing I want you to do is your impression of the first time you walk into the TARDIS. Right, that's number 1.
Okay.
So do that first. And begin scene.
Fucking hell, it's really big in here. I didn't think it actually would be. This is crazy. Wow. Wow.
Well done.
Okay.
So this is the second one I want you to do.
Yeah.
Now, you've been with the doctor for a few months or a few weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're bringing a lady back to the TARDIS and explaining her to the doctor, but you're both drunk. Not the doctor, you and the lady.
Explaining the doctor to the lady, you mean?
Nah. You've just walked into the TARDIS with a lady. You've brought her back to the TARDIS. You're both
so she's
drunk.
already familiar with the time-travelling fucking hermaphrodite.
In a pub.
Or whatever he's meant to be. Hey?
You've just met her in a pub.
Right, so wouldn't I be more likely to be explaining the Doctor Who to her than going, Doctor, this is a female lady from Earth from about... Oh, no, sorry, I should probably explain what the time-travelling guy with the massive house that's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside is. That makes more sense.
If you like.
So who am I talking to? Am I explaining both to... Am I... The doctor, this is my lady girlfriend.
Yeah.
My lady girlfriend, this is the doctor. This guy travels around in time. All sorts. I hang out with him and that. It's crazy.
So So I'll do mine.
That actually sounds like a scene from Doctor Who. What I just did then, I'm pretty sure someone's probably said that in Doctor Who in the late ones.
I'd be outside
That's
the
how bad it is.
TARDIS, fumbling with my keys, trying to get in, saying, the cupboard's over in here.
The retardis.
This'll blow your mind. Come in here, darling. Then I get through the door and I'm like, Doctor, you've got a bed in here somewhere.
Oh,
Where's
right, okay.
the bedroom?
Yeah.
You can't bring a young lady in here.
Well,
Well, I'm going to you out the way, old man.
oh, right, okay.
Got to get my nuts in.
I'll see. Yeah. Fucking hell, man.
Why can't you be more like Stephen Mulhern?
You need to think of
Why can't you be more like Stephen Mulhern and think on your feet?
Oh, maybe I will then. Maybe I will. What about this then? What about this? Oh. Space.
Yeah,
Steve Mulhern.
rubbish.
Steve Mulhern. My face is fatter than George Clark's.
Greg, did you know that you eat 20 spiders every night in your sleep?
Bollocks. You don't even eat one.
I heard you eat 20.
No, they crawl into spiders crawl into death traps when you sleep. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. When was the last time you crawled into something sleeping's mouth?
I don't do stuff like that.
No.
I put my finger in your mouth once when
Spiders
you were
don't
asleep.
think about it. If you're a spider, you'd crawl in someone's nose, your nostril, their ear hole, something that's not moving, that's not going to chew them up and swallow them. I mean, spiders aren't idiots. They know what mouths are. I mean, I'm pretty sure they'd know that a mouth is not a good place to be. I don't know. I could be wrong. They may be idiots.
Okay. Hey, Greg, have you heard the song Body Shop by Sam Smith? You look a bit like Sam Smith.
Do I? I must have put on a lot of weight.
Yeah.
I must have put on like 6 stone then. So
You've got the same bone structure. You should wear that red ribbon thing he wears.
I'm going to the body shop. Oh no, to the body. I actually do quite like the tune. He's got his top. He's got his top off in his Spotify thing. Sam Smith's got his face. I'm not trying to body shame him or anything here, but he looked like we saw him on the Brits, and he looked like. What did he look like? He looked like loads of. It looked like a lava lamp, like spilling out of a bin bag. And he's giving it all this, going, hey yeah, oh yeah, ooh, like trying to give it all the girlfriend moves on stage with his backup dancers, and he's trotting around. I'm like,
He'd look like you.
I mean,
if you were on stage.
I'd take offence to that if I wasn't like so skinny compared to him.
You
right?
used to be fat.
In fact, his face doesn't actually look that bad there. Like, I mean, he's not an unattractive man.
Should we move on?
Yeah.
Greg, how do it all do it? What they do it for? Won't somebody tell? If only they knew it. How do it all do it? You can bet you'll be doing it as well. Remember that advert, Greg?
Yeah.
Know why I'm singing that?
No. Probably because that fucking stupid film we watched about the party with that bloke, the bloke from the adverts in it, Daniel Peacock.
That's right, Daniel Peacock in the Do It All advert.
Yeah, he's got very recognisable. Anyone who's from the 80s, 90s will recognise this guy's face.
He's in loads of stuff.
Yeah.
And he wrote loads of films and TV shows. He's in Only Fools and Horses. And I found a little documentary about him because he now works in a care home, helping old people.
Yeah.
But in 1983, he wrote a film called Party Party. And if you like your party movies, you'll love this one.
I wouldn't call it a film.
It's like a New Year's Eve party. Basically, it's a British comedy film about 3 friends in the West London crowd. And the crowd includes workers, spivs and young police constables. And I don't think this film would be made today.
No.
And the ending is so abrupt it just finishes.
Yeah.
But it's a who's who of soap stars and people on British TV.
Yeah,
and guess what? One more thing. The good thing is, if you want to watch it, you can put it on YouTube straight after this show. Just type Party Party and you can watch the whole film. And Carl Howman from Brushstrokes is in it. Bonus.
Everyone, yeah. Gary Olsen, from Thingy, 2.4 children.
Playing the worst drunk ever.
Playing the worst drunk ever, who gets in a bath with a suicidal Caroline Quentin, who pretends to. It's just really unrealistic. Everyone's swapping girlfriends constantly. They're getting off with one person and going, "Ew, why are you getting off? I'm getting married to her. She just had it off with him 5 minutes ago. Now she's upstairs having it off with him. Oh, what? What's going on? You're my bird now. What?" And they're just talking like that the whole time. It's like like Jilted John. They all talk like Jilted John. That song, Jilted John.
But it's a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
That's the only good thing about it.
It's really unrealistic. Nothing. There's police at the party, and they're just getting bullied and like molested, and they're not doing anything. And they're like, "Oh, we're off duty, aren't we? We can't do nothing." And then they're trying to molest each other at work. Like the bloke is trying to molest the woman at work, like the copper, which is kind of, you know what I mean.
It's a bit wrong.
Kind of pathetic though, if you look at.
Well, it's very prophetic, yeah. Billy Mitchell's in it as well. Perry Fenwick.
Yeah, and Perry Fenwick. Sorry, yeah. I mean, it is a who's who.
A who's who.
It's worth watching just to go like, oh, it's him from Thing, and it's him and them from what's it? Yeah.
So how many bananas do you want to give that one?
No, fucking 1 banana for the music and the who's who spotting.
And I'll give it 5. Right, so let's finish with our final song.
Okay.
Try to be best, cause you're only a man, and a man's gotta learn to take it. Try to believe, though the going gets rough, then you gotta hang tough to make it. History repeats itself, try and you'll succeed. Never doubt that you're the one, and you can have your dream. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's ever gonna keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. Down. Fight till the end, cause your life will depend on the strength that you have inside you. In your heart, you gotta be proud, staring out in the cloud when the odds in the game defy you. Try your best to win them all, and one day time will tell. When you're the one that's standing there, you'll reach the final bell. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. Down. Thank you for watching the Easter special. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great Easter. We'll be back soon. Have a little break. We're going on the yacht. Good times.
And always remember that, yeah. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.
Don't let things keep you down.
Fight till you drop. Never stop. Can't give up until you reach the top. You're the best in town. Listen to that sound. A little bit of all you got could never bring you down. You're the best around. Nothing's ever gonna keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever bring you down. You're the best around. Nothing's ever gonna bring you down. Around. Nothing's ever gonna bring you down. You're the best around. Nothing's ever gonna bring you down. You're the best. Toodaloo, everybody. Au revoir, I've been Gregoire.
Fuck off.
I mean, au revoir, I've been Gregoire.
Joke.
Toodaloo.
Love you.
Hopefully that recorded.
Cinema Chip and Movie Man. Cinema Chip and Movie Man. Cinema Chimp and Movie Man.
Cinema Chimp and Movie Man.